it's come to that time in our build where I need to start doing some plans, and if you're anything like me, you can't really bear to get out the ruler and the paper and be all studious. You just want to go straight to picking colours and cushions and all that sort of stuff. But when you're designing a renovation from scratch, obviously you've got to think about layout, fitted bathrooms, kitchens, lighting, where the sockets are going to go. There's actually an awful lot to plan. Now, if you were to employ a professional interior designer, obviously they'd take care of all of that for you and do some real whiz-bang wallop kind of like 3D CAD system fabulousness, which would help you visualize the whole room, and they'd mark it all out. But you don't need to do that. You can do it yourself, which is what I've done. So I asked our architect to plot on the bathroom and the kitchen design onto this plan, because that's kind of set in stone. I did go to some specialists. I went to Hove Bathrooms in Brighton and Hove to design me the bathroom, because my mum was like really super keen to get a shower and a bath in this bathroom, which is only like 2.6 by 2.2. So really, really tall order, but we've managed to squeeze it in by going for a 1600 length bath, but rather than the usual 1700, for example. And then we went to Ashfield Kitchens in Forest Row, who are designing our kitchen for us, and I've got a layout from them. So I've given those to the architect and he's plotted those in the drawing, and then really it's up to me to decide where the furniture is going to go. Get rid of that. What I like to do is actually spray mount the plan onto just some foam board, and then that means you've got a nice flat surface to play with. And then I cut out in little bits of coloured paper, using the scale ruler to cut them out to scale, the size of all the elements. So here we've got the sofa, I've got the dining table, and actually what that's allowed me to do is play around with the layout and work out where is going to be the best place for the sofa and the coffee table, you know, taking into account distances from the TV cabinet, which is going to go along this long wall here. I'd like to have an armchair in the window looking out towards the view, and then all these little squares here just represent dining chairs. And you just kind of pop them on and play around and try lots of different variations. All the time as well, as I'm getting these in place, I'm using my scale ruler just to work out the gaps as well. But you want to make sure you've got enough room to walk around all of these items of furniture, so that it's not all kind of bunched together, that there is enough room for the chairs to be pulled out away from the table. There is kind of like a sliding scale of what sort of distances, like for example, a dining table should be away from a wall, and I've got all of that on the blog. So when you've got those few rules in place, you can check that everything works, and then kind of do the same for the bedrooms as well. And then I've just stuck them all down with a bit of sticky tape when I've been happy with how it's looking. And then from there, I draw it up in ink on the drawing, so that I've got a nice inked up version. And then when it comes to doing the lighting design, for example, the lighting designer knows exactly where my items of furniture are going, so they know where to put the lights for the bedside tables, they know where to put the pendant lights over the island, they know where to put the sockets for the lamp next to the armchair, for example. So they've got a specific design to work from. Or if you're doing your own lighting design for the same reason, you can plot them, because when it comes later down the line and the electrician is putting in the wiring to hang all these lights, you want them to be in absolutely the perfect place. I mean, I'm lucky enough that I'm working with John Cullen on our house, who is kind of like the god of lighting, if I'm honest. I've been a very lucky girl. They've decided to help me out with it. And what they've produced, amongst other lots of gorgeous things, is a lighting plan. So this is giving you an idea of what a professional lighting plan looks like. Definitely not something I'd come up with, which is good to have a look at, because you can glean some ideas of what you would need to do if you were doing it for your electrician. As you see, there are different icons for spotlights, different icons for lamps, different icons for pendant lights, so that it's easy to understand what fitting goes where and what type of fitting. And then also you want to plot this accurately on your scale drawing, so you know the position of all of those lights as well, so they don't just get fired up willy-nilly. Then aside from your lighting design, you're also going to want to do an electrics layout for all the power points and sockets. And again, this is something you can easily do yourself using, again, the plan that the architect gives you. I've done a simple code here with colouring in the little orange blobs, the technical word, which means just like a regular power socket. And then I've used green to donate like a 3-amp socket, which is going to be used for the lighting, which is actually wired into the main lighting circuit. So the lamps come on with the main power socket. You don't have to go around switching them on individually and then off individually. So you can simply work out where you think you're going to need sockets, where they're going to be practical in the kitchen. You obviously want them either side of the bed. You're going to need a whole bank of them in a desk area or in a TV area. So it's kind of straightforward really, but you need to think of absolutely everything, you know, power for the hob, power for the dishwasher, power for, in this case, the electric towel heater in the bathroom. So they all need to be on there and marked in the position with a clear key so your electrician knows what kind of socket he's putting where, but it's pretty easy to do. So you don't really need to have a PhD in interior design to do this. You can do it yourself. You just need to be clear and check it over a couple of times, get your electrician to check it over, and then you've got a really good lighting and electrical plan and a layout that works. And the essential thing as well about having a good furniture layout is you then know what's going to go back in the room. It might be that you've got pieces of furniture that aren't going to fit and you need to start getting rid of them, or there might be pieces of furniture that you need to source. But from here, you'll be able to draw up a really good shopping list, and that's when the fun begins. So that's going to be the next phase for me, is going to be thinking of the fixtures and finishings, the colours. I'm going to be putting a mood board together for these different rooms next. So it is just getting more and more exciting all the time. Now I'm going to be posting loads more about this project as it transforms. We're going to get into the interior design really, really soon. So make sure you follow me, and I promise you loads more of interior design hints and tips.